Do you take Bitcoin?
Yes, we do. Drinks for everyone. On me.
Hi, I'm Mai, and welcome to Bitcoin Basics. Today, we're diving into the digital gold rush happening right now in 2025.
Institutions everywhere are stacking Bitcoin like never before. In mid-2025, Bitcoin surged past $120,000, driven not by hype, but by deep-pocketed institutions entering the market. Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy just bought 6,220 more Bitcoin, bringing their total to over 607,000 BTC, worth more than $43 billion.
I think that Bitcoin is sound money. It's the technically superior asset class compared to the dollar, the euro, the peso, the bolivar, compared to a stock index, compared to gold, compared to silver, compared to everything you can conceivably buy. It is technically, thermodynamically superior as an asset.
That's not just bullish, that's historic. On July 21st, Trump Media and Technology Group announced a $2 billion Bitcoin reserve, placing over 66% of their liquid assets into BTC.
Finally, Trump Media, which is the company behind the president's social media platform, Truth Social, has acquired billions in assets for its crypto treasury. Trump Media said in a press release this morning that it accumulated around $2 billion in Bitcoin and related securities, making up around 2/3 of its $3 billion in liquid assets. The crypto purchases are part of the company's Bitcoin treasury strategy announced back in May. That plan included $2.5 billion raised in equity and convertible notes. The Bitcoin custody was to be provided by Anchorage Digital. Now, shares of the company popped more than 5% by midday.
Yes, you heard that right. Political media. Now buying Bitcoin like gold. Bitcoin ETFs like BlackRock's iShares, Bitcoin Trust have soared, holding over $80 billion in assets. 125 alone has seen over $50 billion in new Bitcoin ETF inflows.
I believe Bitcoin is legitimate. It is a legitimate financial instrument that allows you to have maybe uncorrelated, non-correlated type of returns. I believe it is an instrument that you invest in when you're more frightened, though. It is an instrument when you believe that countries are debasing their currency, debasing their currency by excess deficits, and some countries are. I believe we have countries where you're frightened of your everyday existence, and if you have an opportunity to invest in something that is outside your country's control, then you can have more financial control. And so I'm a major believer that there is a role for Bitcoin in portfolios. I believe you're going to see that as one of the asset classes that we all look at. I look at it as digital gold, as I said before, and I do believe there's a real need for everyone to look at it as one alternative to, I would say, the optimism that I have in the world. If you want to hedge hope, Bitcoin is not an instrument for hope unless you're hopeful you're going to make a lot of money on it. But I look at it as a vehicle in which you're expressing your financial acumen in something that you're more frightened of the world, you're more frightened of your existence. And I believe there's a great industrial use for it. And I think a lot of people are missing that.
Traditional finance is all in. PNC Bank has partnered with Coinbase for crypto services. Standard Chartered and JP Morgan are expanding institutional Bitcoin access. And in March 2025, the U.S. government announced a strategic Bitcoin reserve backed by over 200,000 BTC seized from federal operations.
Yesterday, I signed an executive order officially creating our strategic Bitcoin reserve, and this will be a virtual Fort Knox for digital gold to be housed within the United States Treasury. That's a big thing.
Texas launched its own state Bitcoin reserve, joining Arizona and New Hampshire in legalizing BTC holdings at the state level. This isn't just national, it's grassroots government-level adoption. Beyond the U.S., countries like El Salvador, Bhutan, and even Ukraine have added Bitcoin to their national holdings in 2025.
El Salvador has continued its daily Bitcoin purchases, adding 240 Bitcoin since December, despite that $1.4 billion IMF agreement that discourages public sector accumulation. Salvador's treasury wallet now holds 6,209 BTC. Asset accumulation remains a key strategic priority for the country.
On-chain data shows hodling at all-time highs. Whales, miners, and institutions are pulling BTC off exchanges and not selling. Deutsche Bank now calls Bitcoin institutional grade, the digital gold of the modern era. Markus Thielen of 10x Research forecasts Bitcoin hitting $160,000 by the end of 2025. Others project 200K plus if momentum continues.
I think the 200 to 250,000 for Bitcoin still makes sense because that would still only value it at 25% of the size of the gold market.
Okay.
So I think digital gold means Bitcoin should be worth over $1 million per Bitcoin, and it could happen in the next few years. But maybe pricing 25% of that, especially with Genius Act, makes sense.
This is the new digital gold rush. Except this time, the tools aren't pickaxes. They're wallets, ETFs, and government reserves. We're witnessing the greatest institutional accumulation of Bitcoin in history.
If you want to stay ahead in this new financial era, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us each week here on Bitcoin Basics. Hit the bell and stack some sats.